Hey, don't go nowhere, guys. We still got a panel to go. Where y'all going? What? You leave. I'm going to get. You what? All right, bye. Hey, Miss Ferguson, you want to get up on the panel? You want to get up there? Can we make you? You want to make you a special seat? Oh, okay. All right. He ain't nobody. Okay. Let's see. I guess Brian left. All right. All right, this is our last panel for the day. I gotta go get some sleep. I'm tired. You know what, Artavius? You starting to get on my. Okay. We got internet radio, DJs, video people, somebody that talks too much, and a magazine. Oh. I had to get you on that one. Hey, Sean, go where Brian's sitting at. I might as well bring one of my sub labels up here. Since he came all the way from Atlanta.
I need a mate.
Yeah, you got a mate. Come on, Sean.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
I guess he came all the way from Atlanta. I guess I better put him up on the stage.
Place his placard. I hear you, Sean.
I won't get in trouble. You good, Sean? You ready?
Yeah, how everybody doing out there?
Hey, Brian, I think you might need to take his place, man. You all right? You sure? I wish you would put the artists up there. We good? Okay. Let's see. I guess we're going to call this panel, I don't know. No, this is the panel that everybody needs to know because we got magazines, radio people, videographers, internet radio, and a label. So we're gonna start at that end and go this way. Everybody announce who they are, what they do, and then we'll go into, just give a little history about your background. Please, go.
Hi, everybody. My name is LaShawn Turner, LASHAUN Turner.com. I am the owner of UrbanIndieRadio.com. It is a 24/7 online radio station playing only urban indie artists 24/7. I have the advantage of saying I am the only radio station in Los Angeles playing you all independent artists 24/7. Most of all, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a publicist. I've been doing publicist work for 2 years. I found a need to evolve to bring exposure to independent artists that I served. So I developed this online radio station to help do that. I also have written for magazines such as Yo Raps, which is the #1 urban magazine in Europe. I also was a paid music blogger for Gorilla Leak. So imagine people actually pay people like me to come out and find your videos to put on their online video sites. And I did that for half a year. One of the things I like to impress upon people, independent artists, you need to have a website. You need to have a central place where people like myself can find you. You need to have social networking is a major part of being found as far as online exposure, because a lot of what I find for my radio station and actually find to blog about comes through an algorithm that I use, which uses Twitter. So Twitter is very important. Facebook, LinkedIn, if you're not familiar with, all good social networking sites for artists. And so basically, I like to try and get exposure for independent artists via online magazine, blogs, radio, so forth and so on.
Sean, I told you, Brian, I should have put you up there.
Huh?
Nothing.
I was about to relax and listen to what you're going to say, boy.
I was waiting on you, though.
Good afternoon, everybody. Like the sign says, my name is Jonathan Donker, but people call me JD. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I just moved out here to LA last year. Been in the music business about 25 plus years. I was on the radio at WBLS in New York for about 12 years. Moved over to Sirius XM as a mix show DJ and air talent. I was over at Sirius XM for about 4 or 5. For the past 5 years, I've been working with a radio syndication company called Super Radio. I do 3, 2, and 4 hour mix shows on the Super Radio network on regular radio stations. Right now, my shows are on 25 to 30 radio stations around the country. I also have a company called 1208 Entertainment, and underneath that umbrella, I have a section called 1208 Promo, where I will work with a lot of independent labels who try to get their product, their singles played on the radio or on the internet, or to get their artists and their singles on major websites. And I say major websites, that means the websites that have a lot of traffic. There are a lot of websites out there, but the major websites, they have the advertising on their banners on the websites. Those are the ones that have a lot of viewers, a lot of visitors. Those are the ones that do a lot of business. Those are the ones that attract a lot of the major companies like your McDonald's, your Nikes of the world. I also have a company called 12-Way Models, where I also represent and consult several models and actresses around the country that have been featured in a lot of the main magazines, such as Smooth, King, XXL, Straight Stun, As Is, Sweets Magazine, Maxim, Low Rider. A lot of my models have also been featured a lot of TV and film projects, such as Law and Order and other films as well. But my bread and butter is really the music, because this is where I got started. And I'm here to help people like yourselves, to give you information or advice, because conventions or conferences like this, they don't have these anymore. I mean, I came up in the business going to your Jack the Rappers, your Impact conventions, your Gavins, your new music seminars, where they had record companies, radio stations, artists getting that information on how to go to the next level, and they don't have these anymore. Mostly the conventions are put together by the big radio conglomerates like your Clear Channels, your Citadels, your Radio Ones, where they invite their major labels and their major artists to perform for their programmers, and you guys kind of get locked out, you know, and those are the conventions that you really need to go to have the opportunity for those programmers and those mix show DJs to, you know, see who you are, you know, where you're coming from, and the music that you have, so you can get on their playlist next to a Chris Brown or a Jay-Z or a Kanye or Rihanna. So I definitely have to take a second to applaud D in putting a conference like this together, where you guys can get knowledge and more information. And myself and the panels earlier and the panel now, I'm sure we'll be able to help you with some information, knowledge, where you guys can go to the next level.
Mr. Mason.
Hey, everybody. Daniel Mason. I'm the president of 44 Dogs, LLC. I'm also business partners with Big D, with CF Music Group, as well as a partner with our new venture, which is Streamitright. 44 Dogs is a full-service video and film production company. We specialize in feature films for distribution, as well as all things visual, so music videos, documentaries, video blog, content, commercials, 3D graphics, anything dealing with visuals. 44 Dogs is your kind of like your one-stop shop to get the hot stuff. We're the equivalent of your hot producers, but on the visual side out here on the West Coast. So within 44 Dogs, CF Music Group handles all of our music stuff, so everything from studio recording to digital distribution and marketing for your projects, but 44 Dogs handles the visual side. So we pride ourselves on being a platform that's accessible to just about everybody. We offer turnkey services so that you don't have to go 10 different places to get the stuff that you need. So I don't know anything about how to blow up your project, like how to take it where it needs to go. I know how to get you the tools that you need to be able to talk to the people that can blow your stuff up, to make sure that your image is hot, that you're getting high quality production services for stuff that you can afford. And we also have extensive relationships just from being in the game for 15 years doing this. So we do everything from Lil Wayne all the way down to the dude on the block that's just hot. So our main reason for putting this seminar and this conference on was to give you some real, actual, tangible information that you can use to say, all right, I don't have any more hurdles. So 44 Dogs prides itself on kicking down the hurdles, giving you the assets that you need to at least be competitive in the business. What you do from that is why you need to talk to some of the other people that were up here on these panels, the people that are the movers and shakers. Like, come to us so that we can make sure that you don't look foolish when you go to them, and that you're not getting ran around in circles or somebody that's trying to take advantage of you. Our stuff is laid out pretty fairly and simply in terms of what it is that we do, and but there's not much that we don't do. So everything from your videos, your websites, your music production, all the stuff, the tangible products that you need to actually say, I'm a legitimate artist or model or whatever trying to take a shot. That's primarily what 44 Dogs is about. I'm excited about our new venture, which is called Streamitright, which is a video streaming company. We're trying to keep you guys and our movements at the forefront of this digital revolution. And people want their content when they want it, where they want it, and how they want it. And these days, it doesn't cut it to be, to go through the whole process and wait for, months and weeks for your projects to get finished and uploaded. We're trying to put it out instantly, so we're trying to take advantage of the digital revolution by providing an accessible streaming platform for people like you. So when you're doing your concerts and stuff like that, how can you get people in Australia, if you're from Albuquerque and you want somebody to see your show and there's only 1 million people in your state? All right, well, just like Lisa said, there's hundreds of thousands of people in France that may really dig your music, and how else are they going to see it unless you're streaming? And so we're giving that apparatus, at least that accessibility to artists with Streamitright. So that's about it. You can talk to me in terms of the package. Danny, how do I get my stuff together? I'll put your stuff together. Not I, but we together will work together and put your stuff together so that you're hot. So, that's about it.
Your turn.
And it's tangible. Me and Dee have this phrase. I'm glad the pastors aren't up here anymore, but we call it tangible shit. So, like, when you look up 44 Dogs, or you look up what we do.
They're still in the room.
But when you look up what we do, like, our films are out with Lionsgate. You can go see them on Blockbuster shelves. You can see them on Netflix. When they say, like, where are your videos? I'm like, all right, well, this one's up on MTV, or this one's on BET, this one's rocking World Star or whatever, with artists that you know, as well as the dudes that you don't know that are just hot. We work with cats. If your stuff is dope, I'm like, yeah, you can. Knowing guys like me is how you get your videos done, and, like, how you get stuff done for cheap and get it in the right place, so that some of these movers and shakers, like the indie powers and these guys, can actually work with you. So
You forgot to tell them about the movie
Huh?
on BET. We have a movie on BET. Church. We forgot to tell them about
yeah,
that.
I mean, I may look like Mac 10 stunt double, but we do, like, I sit in rooms. We do it all. So thank you guys for coming.
No applause. Come on, guys, wake up. It's the last panel. Let's hear it. Come on. You can do better than that. My name's Anita Wilson
Okay,
Pringle.
that's it.
And Anita Wilson Pringle. I am Chief Chief Operations Officer and Chief Financial Officer for Commercial Marketing, Media, and Management to CM3 and also independent label of CM3 Records. I handle all of the social media, and there is more to social media, social networking than what you all probably know about. So I guess today we'll get into a little more on that, a little more in depth. But after this, if you guys have questions, I'll leave my cards and you guys can give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you. Teach you things about creating channels on YouTube, getting your own radio stations on the internet where you can become your own programmer and make sure that your stuff is out there. Working with people like JD down here and teaching you how to get this stuff coded, get it into media base so that when you're out here distributing this music and stuff like that, you're not just giving away your stuff. I work with the licensing portion of it. Everybody talked about BMI and ASCAP today, but there's a third one out there, and it's CSAC, which I love to work with, and that's James Leach. So you guys might want to check them out, too, if you haven't already. And basically, we teach you how to make your presence on the internet beneficial for your career, because right now, the digital age is where we are. And if you're not seen and if you're not known and you're not viral, then you don't exist. That is all. You may clap now.
She didn't talk as much as her husband did.
Right. My name is Joy Brooks. I am the CEO and founder of Visage Magazine. I partner with my creative director is Octavia. I'm also the CEO of Hot Talk Radio. We too are a 24-hour internet radio show. With Visage, it's a lifestyle magazine. We cover everything from entertainment, sports, culture, the hot spots, you name it, we have it. We're digital, we're online, as well as our print issue is in London as of November 14th. So we are providing the visual for artists and models, whatever your direction is. We provide the visual to be tangible to your customers. With Hot Talk Radio, we provide the platform for broadcasters that want to have their own shows as well as promoting your music. We're also licensed with BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC. And we, too, are taking that to Series Radio as well to be FM. So we're including also sister stations in London as well. So we're pretty much a visual platform for you artists out there. And you can clap.
Joy, so if somebody wanted to get on your radio show, what would you tell them to bring you?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
What was your question?
If I was an artist and I wanted to approach you to get my music on your station, what would I need to bring you?
I'm sorry, the last question. What?
Who wants to get on your radio?
I want to get on your radio station, so what do I need to bring
Well,
you?
first what you need to do to get on our radio station is provide us with a MP3 format of your music, and we have an agreement so that we don't get sued by you or anybody else to say we can play your music on our station. But first we want to see what you're providing. I don't put out just any kind of music on our radio station because we do cater to certain genres of music. So although we are not, our radio station is not like terrestrial radio or terrestrial radio. You don't have to take out your cuss words and stuff like that is what I'm trying to say. We're not filtered. So we do, again, watch what kind of music we do put out there. We don't want any music that is going to conflict or start any type of violence from our show. So it definitely has to be something that's approved through myself and my partner, Miko, before we place your music on our radio station.
Okay. Let's see. Shine, wake up.
Back off the mic a little bit so I can hear you. You're too close to it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm getting critiqued how to use a microphone. Wow.
Just gotta tell you.
It's kind of hard hearing you in the monitors up here, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, I can turn the monitors up. Shine.
Yes, sir.
No, Shine. Shine. Next to
LaShawn.
you. Shine
Oh, is this
Maxwell.
Sean?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Shine. As an independent label, what do you look for in an artist before you sign them?
Their drive, really, their drive and their passion for what they're doing. Before I look at an artist, just see if they really taking the time out in themselves to really develop themselves, or are they invested in themselves before I even talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Just they're basically their drive. If they got a hunger for what they're doing, because a lot of people got the talent but don't have the hunger, so that's just a waste of time. So really, that's what I look for.
Okay. Danny, if I was an independent artist wanting the EPK or come to you and say, I need my whole visual platform done, what would you start with?
I mean, your visuals are critical. I think, as Steve and some of the other gentlemen were talking about, it's like every corner, it seems like you drive by like Hamilton High School or something, there's like 30 kids that look like rappers and everybody got flows, and you know, you can't even walk down Hollywood Boulevard without somebody handing you like a Sharpie laced like CD, like slowing your roll or whatever. It's so saturated or whatever. I think the visuals are to a degree like even more critical than the music. Like you got to have your visuals together, and that, I mean, there's such a wide range of things that you can get. You know, for us, we just lay it out really simply. We put packages together. We say these are our packages. Like if you everything from like network ready all the way down to like stuff that you just want for your video blog, and that's what it is. Meet a lot of people and they're like, you know what, I'm super dope, but I can't even afford those packages, even though they're like dirt cheap and the quality is very high or whatever. So I say, all right, out of the goodness of my heart and like how much I love this music, I try to create different platforms to kick down all these hurdles for you guys. So I even went so far as to come up with this thing called the Indie Artist Combine. Now, if you see anybody else trying to set this up or whatever, like, come find me so I could go get my cut on eBay or whatever Tony Robbins DVD series they're doing or whatever. But my vision, because I see so many hot, talented artists or whatever, and they're like, Danny, I'm hot as hell. Like the first brother that stood up and was like, I get it. I've got all the drive. I believe in God. My music's dope. Like what do I do? I'm like, come to the Indie Artist Combine. And it's an idea, but it's based on, like, you know, the NFL Combine? How, like, when the hottest athletes come out of college, they go to the NFL Combine so that everybody could check out how they're hot, and they go to station to station to get all the stuff that they need. So I'm saying we take something like this and we set up stations. You got your ASCAP BMI publisher people. We're going to get you registered, get your business licenses set up so that you're set up to go correctly. You got your photographers, your publicists, your videographers. Like, you got all these stations, and you run around, and instead of charging everybody what they would normally charge to get all those services together, like going to each person individually, all the service providers collectively pool their sources together, and you say, you know what, everybody that comes in here is paying $300, and you're going to walk away with the tools that you need. But we got to do it in volume so that it makes sense for all the service providers. That's how we get all of you guys. How do I get a cool looking video? How do I get a magazine ready interview? How do I get my radio snippets for all my DJs that are going to help promote my music? I'm saying we do an NFL style combine with all the service providers. All these people that are here, they're donating their time, so I know they donate their time in a way that's also bringing them some revenue, but also giving you an apparatus to do the stuff for cheap. So I'm like, yeah, you might not have $2,500 to get a video from 44 Dogs, but you may have $300 or $400 to get something that will serve the same purpose in addition to all these other things. So again, we're trying to get rid of the hurdles. Like, so if you're dope, let the world see like who's dope. And you can either, if you're dope, sky's the limit, because the people in here can really blow your career up. But if you're not dope, like, at least you'll have something tangible to show the kids and say, hey, man, when I'm not at FedEx, like, I got some heat too, you know? So we've got different platforms that we can work with visually to help you. There's no excuse, like, to not, like she said, if you're not viral, you're not hot. So
Speaking
get
of viral,
that stuff up.
Sorry, not to cut you off. Thank you. That was a good answer. Speaking of viral, this next question is for Anita. Social media is a very important aspect of any campaign or just, getting recognition as an artist. Number one, um, explain the importance and the process of growing numbers. And two, if there's a social media etiquette for an artist.
Okay, first question was the process. How important
Growing,
is it to have the
how
numbers?
important is it to grow your numbers, and how do you go about growing social media numbers?
I have an interesting opinion on that, and I'm sure that Daryl, as I know he's in here somewhere, will probably disagree. The little like button on Facebook is an irritating little bothersome thing to me, and I think they need to delete it, because what it does when you go there, I visit sites all day long. Rarely ever do I hear, do I push that like button. But I may go to that site 10 times during the day, 50 times during the month, but I will never touch that like button. Okay? So when you look at it aesthetically like that, and you're basing things off just the visual of, oh, I went to the site and they have 1,500, likes, that's not really giving you the story of what's behind that page. Because what you need to do is link. If you have a website, even your Facebook page, there's applications, there's app for everything. There's applications that you can actually link back through Facebook to put your Facebook page into Google Analytics or some kind of analytical program that'll give you the real background numbers. Our site, CM3 on Facebook, I think we're taking 12 or 15,000 likes right now. We're getting 1.6 million hits a month, but that's not reflected. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They sit here and they look, oh, they don't have a lot of likes. But you're not looking at how many people visit that page. They revisit, they visit, they revisit. It's easy to go up here and go to send a message to somebody and hit that button and unlike it, even though you're still going to it every day. Or people like me who it just irritates and I just never touch it, but I will religiously go back to the page. So numbers in one aspect will give them a basis for, like Daryl was saying earlier about the YouTube stuff. They're looking at the subscriptions. They're looking at, like on YouTube, how many people subscribe to your channel. They're looking at how many hits you're taking on a video, things like that. But when you really get down to it, and if you're talking seriously about someone monetizing whatever, you want to look at the analytics of it. You want to know what's behind that. Any website that we do, any page that we handle, I can tell you what country down to how old the person is that went to that page. I can ping the IP address if necessary. But you got to get this stuff together in the background. The aesthetic page, the visual that you see is not always going to be your true and complete story. So while you're out here hustling, trying to get 50,000 likes on your Facebook page, you're probably taking 5 or 6 million hits a month on that page. You need to be looking at the backside of it. But it is very important. And if you market yourself out here right and use those numbers, you'll get a lot further than you will just saying, oh, I have 20,000 hits. You understand what I'm saying? So you've got to know your own business before you try to give it to someone else.
For our ladies with the radio stations, first of all, kudos to being ladies with radio stations. Props about that. When artists come and want to be on your radio show, what's important to you from a perspective of putting the music out, and as far as making sure that the artists get what it is that they want from a radio interview, a show, or putting their music on? Either one.
For me, it's the story. What story are they telling? I'm very visual, and that's probably why I have the magazine as well as the radio station, because I'm very visual. So my interest mostly is the story. What do you want to put out to our listeners, to our viewers? Like she was stating earlier, our numbers may not reflect on our Facebook and our Twitter as it does in the back end of our numbers. So we too have a large hit. We get over 2 million views. And so for me personally, as an owner, I want to know your story. What do you have that makes me want to, especially as an unsigned artist, what is it? What's tangible to my listeners to want to say, oh, I'll tune into that show, besides our radio host that broadcasts the show. What is it? What is it about you that makes our listeners want to come and listen to you? Because sometimes you might be on a show and you can definitely tear somebody's show up if your story isn't something that they can relate to. So people can, click off the show and be like, dang, I once liked that show until that artist came on there. So it's a package for me. What's your story?
Good deal.
I like to hear good music, so therefore I like to play good music. My station is also explicit, gutter, hood, street, and whatever you want it to be. I cater to urban artists, so on Sunday we may do some special program for gospel rap. If I had enough people sending me gospel rap, I would program a special show for it, put out press releases, put it through my own social networks, have you tweet it out and all that kind of stuff. And, because I just like to hear good music and I like to play good music. I like for artists to be business-like and professional because my radio station, if you've ever been to urbanindieradio.com, it also has a magazine that is within it. And it also has a noise section, so a making noise section, so we feature artists. So we do tell your story, put your bio, put how people can find you and that sort of thing. So I don't like to associate myself with people who aren't trying to at least elevate their look and their appeal and who aren't ready to really, give a good look because then it sort of brings me down. So I'm sort of looking at the whole package as well. Also in urbanindieradio.com, there's a social network component to it. It's called the urbanmediahub.com. And it is a network where the artists come and they just upload their music. I have a branded player. You can upload your music or your videos. And I actually use that as a pool. I look through all the things that people upload and I try and take songs from there to put it onto the radio station. So my whole deal is a whole network, magazine, social, community, and we just like to hear good music and I just like to help people. I don't make a lot of money because, I tell artists, this is my thing. If you go to any of my websites, it'll say, if you can't spend $100 promoting yourself, you need to stop trying to be a rapper or a singer and get a job. A lot of people want a lot of things for free. So I have to find, ways to make my own bread and butter. So I've sort of spread myself out being a publicist, music blogger, radio station owner. But it's important that, the artists are professional about what they are doing. You have to have a website. You have to have a central location where people can find you, where you can bring in your Twitter, your Facebook, your Reverb Nation. Because I'm not going to go look through 12 websites, click through 12 links to find all about you. I might Google you, and what comes up, I'm going to look at one or two things, and hopefully it was on your website where everything about you is there so that I can say, okay, this person is really serious. This person is really wanting to go next level. And then I just also want to say something about growing your numbers in social networking. I actually spent half a year making friends on Facebook and on LinkedIn. My contacts were targeted, so that's how I know a lot of people in the music industry. It's relationships, and even if you're starting them online, it's very important that you connect with people who you can collaborate with, learn from, grow from, work together. And it's not about how many contacts you have, it's about the quality of the contacts. So just keep that in mind.
I totally agree. This question is for Jonathan. Jonathan, you have a multitude of radio stations, correct? Did I hear you say that?
With Super Radio, I do 3 different mix shows on 25 to 30 terrestrial regular radio stations around the country, yeah.
My question is with respect to radio budgets. I, as a publicist, understand the importance of radio airplay, especially like magazines like XXL and the Source look at media base and things of that nature to see how many spins you're getting. So and it has nothing to do necessarily with payola, but explain the importance of
With what?
Well, somebody asked about payola before at the last.
Right,
the P word.
I've heard of that.
But we're going to talk about the B word, the
Right.
radio budget. Like you need to hire a radio person who has relationships at radio to get your records spun. So can you kind of expound upon the concept of radio budgets?
On one of the panels before, they had mentioned about checks and balances. It's kind of like, if you have a service, you are, rendering your services. This is what you do. This is what you're good at. This example, promoting songs at radio or different radio stations, then there are certain ways to do business financially with an artist who's looking to get airplay, because that's part of what someone like myself would do, because I have relationships with radio station programmers, music directors, mix show DJs. I mean, I'm kind of like a different breed kind of promotion person, because I know how all the different areas operate. I've done programming at different radio stations. I'm still a mix show DJ. I've done A&R at record companies, so I know how the different engines work. So if I'm going to work a record at radio, I definitely have to have the understanding with the artist or the label. I mean, this is something that I would do in order to promote your record at different radio station, or to places like Sirius XM or Music Choice, or to some of the other feasible markets like XXLMag.com, AllHipHop.com, because everybody up here, different panels, they've all said the same important thing. This is a business. I've been in a long time. I don't do it for my health. I enjoy what I do. We're in a small minority. There are a lot of people out here who wake up 9 to 5, an hour lunch, and get a check every 2 weeks, but they don't like their job. I've been through the ins and outs. I've done projects with gold and platinum artists. I've done projects where I've been in the studio 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and wake up with an hour and a half sleep, but this is what I do. I enjoy doing what I do. And promoting artists at different radio stations, or even at indie radio stations or internet stations. I mean, I love doing what I do, and the artist needs to know that I love doing what I do. Sometimes, budgets might be a lot, but I'm not gonna ask for a budget that's gonna be the same price as a tap card either. I still gotta keep my lights on. We all have to keep our lights on.
That part, exactly. Not to cut you short, we only have 10 more minutes,
Sure.
so we got to take questions. If anybody has a question, I know this lady's been waiting for a minute. I'm gonna let you go, and then Ms.
Okay, I deal with a lot of young people that have like their catalogs, or they got albums and music. Some of it I listen to. I'm not an expert like y'all are, but how do you get the young people that have a lot of music? How do we create something where somebody can listen to it and say, oh, that's a good club song, that's a good radio song? Because I've heard a lot of stuff, but half of it, I don't want to say, I'm not hurting no talent feeling, but I want to know, how do I get the young people that come to me and they have all this music? They don't know what to do with it. They think all of it's the bomb, but not maybe one or two is. How do we create something where I can say, oh, you need to go to Daniel or Joy or somebody to let them listen to their music? Because these young people need to find someone that can listen and say, oh, that's a good club song. Differentiate the difference be what they're doing, so they won't think all of it's the bomb.
Yeah.
And everybody doing a mixtape, and you're stealing other folks' stuff. And
I mean, it used to be the A&Rs, like before the industry really changed, and that there used to be a person that's what their job is, and there's very few of them still around or whatever. But like
they're none.
primarily, like
They're none
if you're
left,
here
man.
and you have that same type of question, there's a gentleman walking around named John Patillo. John Patillo is one of those people that's tapped into urban music specifically, and he deals directly with the DJ pools. DJ pools are the entity, one of the major entities that makes and breaks music. They let you know what's hot. The producers and DJs still are, in my opinion, like the most critical aspect of the business because they determine and create many times what's hot. So you want to get, the polar bears of the world, like the people that make and they know music, they're DJs and producers. Now you don't want to just spend all day on LinkedIn or Facebook trying to find a producer or whatever.
No.
Go to somebody like John Patillo that says, I can get your music to the top, to the core DJs. They represent 600 or so DJs, the Go DJs. Like there's these record pools, and basically they're subscribed to people like John Patillo's and these guys that send them what people want to know what's hot. They send it out there, and then the DJs kind of decide, they're like, yo, this one will work down here, or this one will work in the gospel community, or this one will work, on the pop records or whatever. So find the producers and the DJs. If you can't find them individually, find somebody that knows them specifically here.
Where's
Some of the
John
guys like,
at?
excuse me?
Where's John at?
I don't know where John is, but he's walking around. Any of these gentlemen, could tell you. If not, I'll find him for you, or you can find
No,
me. I'll
know who
I'll
I
give you
am.
John's number.
John know
But the
who I am.
producers and the DJs are the people that you want to get that music to, because they're the the real source of.
Yeah, because a lot of these young people, they don't know where to go, who's going to help them. I'm fortunate to be blessed to know all of y'all. But I'm trying to help my kids in my community to lead them to resources like you. Because these kids, they don't have that kind of touch. Now, a lot of them need to be here, but they won't come to conferences. Now, if this was a performance thing, all of them be here.
And that's why I was like, I know like the people that are here, you guys are getting some jewels and being able to actually reach out and touch some real people, but we're also streaming this live, so there is no excuse. If you got a cell phone or any kind of internet access, you can watch exactly what happened here instantly. It'll be up in 10 minutes after the show. So those people, you point them to the website I'll give you, and they can watch exactly what the people here said.
This young lady has a question.
For LaShawn Turner and Joy Brooks, I didn't catch your radio stations, and then I had a question for Joy Brooks.
urbanindyradio.com. And you can also go to LaShawnTurner.com, and you can reach all my creative assets from there. A social network, the radio station, my publicity, publicist business, everything. And 1-800-RANT.com, which is an award-nominated music blog, is where I find videos using certain algorithms and post it there. And I also post in other blogs and magazines.
Okay.
Hot Talk Radio is hot, HAUTE, talk, TALK, radio.com. And Visage is VIZ as in zebra, AGE, mag.com.
And the question I had, well, I guess it could be anybody, but you guys mentioned about viral videos. What exactly makes a video considered viral, and what is the it factor or the key trend in that video that makes that person go viral?
Well, I mean, we deal with video, so we create viral videos. Like the definition has changed, just like the definition of urban has kind of changed. But the two main things I think that distinguish like a viral video are it's cheap and the platform that you put it on. Like what determines if it's hot are the people that watch it. If you put a video up on WorldStar, for example, you're going to get more traffic than you would if you put that video up on, just like your Facebook page or something like that, because they get 3 million or so unique hits to their front page and everybody sees it. Like all the videos for that day that get placed on there get seen. So viral is kind of like determined like primarily in the industry. I mean, we consider them videos that are cheap and videos that are placed on websites that may not necessarily generate revenue, but their main intention is viewership. So.
So it doesn't have anything to do with the amount of hits or views. I thought it was like a set number, then okay, that's considered viral.
Viral in terms of like YouTube, like a skunk riding a skateboard becomes viral because that's a real viral video. It's something that like, it's so esoteric and not everybody would be interested in it, that everybody becomes interested in it because like the dude who was crying about Britney Spears, like that's a viral video
Right.
because it's something so out of the norm that everybody watches it. In the hip hop or like in the music business, that definition is different. It's,
okay.
It refers to cheaply made promo materials. So viral videos are, you know, a cheaply made promo video essentially.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. We got to get out of here. This is the last question.
My question was for Anita. You mentioned how we should link our Facebook pages and our Twitters and everything to Google Analytics, and I've done that. But the thing is, now that I've done that, I'm like, okay, how do I use this information to my advantage, and what's the next, like, what is that information? I know it's good for stats and stuff, but like, how do I use that and like start using it to my advantage?
You post everything else on your page, repost that. Open up your Google Analytics. Look at it. Know exactly how to read it. If you gloss over it with your mouse, it'll give you complete definitions and things like that on what each one of those lines, what those numbers mean. And if you want to get it out there, put a print screen on it. Hit the print screen button on your computer. Drop it into Paint or something like that and make it a image, a JPEG, whatever. A bitmap, and drop it back onto your page. Let people know, hey, say, hey, guys, just because I have 1,500 hits, I'm taking 30,000, visits a month. Let them know. Don't be ashamed. We talked about this earlier on some of the other panels, but you guys, you're your own brand. You are your own business. It's not your manager. It's not your PR person. It's not your publicist. It's not your producer. You are your business. And if you don't handle your business, you have none. And if you don't put these numbers out there and let people know. We have clients that will take their Google Analytics page and put every week they change the page. So when you go to their Facebook page, instead of having a big glossy picture, you'll have their picture in that little bitty box. And the big page up here is a picture of their Google Analytics showing you exactly what their numbers are.
You also use those numbers to get your foot in the door with people that can move and shake for you. Like, for example, we're shooting some webisodes next week or whatever, and we're like, all right, the people that we want to include in this webisode are people that have traffic. So, like, I would choose somebody that's got proven analytics and put them in a webisode series that's going to be distributed before I would take somebody that doesn't have any kind of buzz. When Steve was up here and he said, come to me and come to me with a marketing plan, something that's comprehensive that shows me what your story is. And like she was saying, like, why would I put you on my radio show? I want to know what your story is. Those numbers are part of your story in addition to where you're from and stuff like that. You say, look, you may not know me, but like everybody in South Dakota like loves me. Like, and this piece of paper, piece of paper at least proves that. It's not the greatest. I don't have anything behind me, but this is what I do have. And then somebody can, use it.
I'll tell you, like I've told other clients, if anybody knows anybody that's ever had to write a business plan, the one thing that the banker goes to first is your financials. Your assets and your liabilities, your numbers. The numbers are really the only thing that they're looking at. Because it's so much, the market is so saturated today, they can go out here and pick anybody up to do it. What makes you, got this question earlier, what makes you different from everybody else? It's going to be all about the numbers, but if you don't know how to read them, you're going to sell yourself short and miss out on a lot. So for all of you out there that don't have YouTube channels, you need to get YouTube channels. Okay, and Daryl is somewhere in here unless he's already left, but is Daryl in here? Okay, you guys need to, he's got on a tan jacket, kind of big guy.
He's on the first
panel. You guys
panel.
need to get with Daryl Andrews. He will teach you how to monetize these channels and bring in money. And I know we got to wrap up real quick, but I want to drop this out here. It's on the subject of radio and then also monetization. You guys have, I'm probably sure that the artists sitting out here have a ton of music. What I would recommend that you do is get your publishing and stuff like that straight. Catalog these things with CSEC, with BMI, with ASCAP. Even if you never put them out, catalog it. Go to stuff like Jenga. Everybody know what Jenga is? Anybody heard of it? Jenga? Go to Jenga, create your own. You go to Pandora, right? And if you want to listen to Dre or anything like that, you type in her name. Well, when you go to Jenga, and even with Pandora, you've got to pay. Jenga, it's free. Go to Jenga, JANGA.com, and you can create your own radio station, and you load up all your music. But before you do it, you make sure that it's coded with media base. It can be found in media base or anywhere else. And I'm saying this because every time they go and play that radio, your song comes up in rotation on Wiz Khalifa station or Dre or any of the rest of them, it's counted as a radio play.
Protection, yeah.
Okay, one, you're
It's
protecting
important.
yourself, and two, you need 300 hits before you even chart on who is it? Billboard. You only need 300 spins. Am I right, JD?
Yeah, between
Okay.
media base and
So if you're
BDS,
setting
yeah.
up your own radio station on Jenga, and it's already coded and it's sitting in media base, and even on songs, like I said, old stuff you haven't even released, but go ahead and put your stuff in here, make sure your publishing is right. You create your own 300s and you charge yourself. Understand what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, it's not costing you anything. A lot of you also don't know, I'm going to hit this real quick. Facebook has a music store. If you're not familiar with it, go into create a new page on Facebook, and up there it clearly says store, and most people will just gloss past that. If you have your stuff listed with CD Baby, iTunes, any of those, there's always a link on there for creating a store on Facebook. It's not a page, it is literally a store. You can literally sell your stuff on Facebook. It'll put in that little box up there right underneath your picture where it says photos and all that stuff, friends. There'll be a box there that says music store. When they click on it, it's your entire music store. Everything that you want to sell, your music, everything. And again, before you post it anywhere, get it coded.
Sorry to interrupt, but I
All good.
encourage you all to hit up Ms. Anita after the conference, get all the information you can from her and everyone else on the panel. Dee wants to start this sound check for the concert tonight. Thank you all so very much for coming out on behalf of Dee, Tiffany. I don't know if you want to say some last words, Dee. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit me up on Twitter, the right one.
Don't do it, it's a trick.
For the gentleman with the camera that was asking about gospel rap,
Okay.
go create your own station and load it up with what you want.
Hey, this is Jazzy. It's been about 4 people. They said they've been hearing coding and BDS, and they said they don't know what it means. They said, could you explain what coding your music and BDS is? Can someone explain what coding and what does BDS stand for?
JD?
It's about coding.
Yeah, some people were over when
Okay.
you guys said coding, they didn't.
For all your artists out there who have songs that want to get played on the radio, there are 2 organizations. One is called Media Base, and another one is called BDS, or Broadcast Data Scan. BDS is also run by a company called Nielsen. They track sound scan, and they also handle the TV ratings as well. So they handle all the numbers in terms of if your song is getting played and you have it detected and you're getting spun 500-600 times a week and you've got your song coded through BDS or Mediabase, that's great. But you can have a song that's the hottest track out there, and mix show DJs, some internet people might be playing it, but if you want to go to an independent label or a major label and you tell them, yeah, my song's getting played all over the radio, all these people now, they've got a computer, they could pull up all those numbers, and that track you think that's hot and you've actually physically heard it, they could pull it up and you got no spins. Why? Because you didn't get it coded or detected. So
That's also how you get paid for your publishing.
absolutely.
If you need somebody to help you with that, talk to Big D or John Patillo. They can help you get your stuff tracked and coded. And on the video side too, if your stuff is really hot and you're trying to go to BET and you want it on TV,
They code those too.
That's one of the 3 like requirements they look for. They say, how many BDS spins? You got 600 spins? All right, you're even eligible.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter how hot you are. Like, if you're not reaching that peak, so it's got to be coded. So it's good info. If you need some help with that, find Big D or JP.
Yeah,
If you need advice with some of the other stuff, you got experts like Jazzy and these managers over here that's what they do.
And you also get credit for your internet spins when we're licensed, CSAC, BMI, ASCAP, we report. And so we report how many times we played your music, and you also get your credit that way, your royalties.
For the artists, all that stuff is really, really important, like the ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, BDS, media base. If you want to get paid, you've got to, link up with these companies to get your music, coded with these companies or copyrighted or registered with these companies so you can get paid and be in this business, for a long time and be very successful, in this business. Because if you don't get all that stuff, marked, it's really all for nothing, really.
It's called royalty money.
Money.
10 years from now, you should still be getting paid for it if it's getting paid.
And you guys also want to make sure you maintain your image. Your presentation says a lot about your character, and it also promotes your book. I mean, people judge you by what they see before they hear what they're listening to. So you want to make sure your image is